Finally! Gee whiz! Now, can we go to it and actually destroy this little device once and for all? Can't believe Wade's dead. A lot of people are dead.
Any sudden movement will blow you out of the sky! Identify yourself!
So here we are, Courier. Just you and me now, or all that's left. This isn't how I imagined it to play out, but things don't always go according to plan. This story starts way back when the Legion first conquered my tribe in Arizona. The Legion were savages who didn't hesitate to slaughter anyone who didn't submit to them. I was only 16 at the time, but I understood exactly what they wanted out of me. When they ordered me to kill my parents, I didn't hesitate. I was never loyal to the Legion, but I did what I had to rise above. I quickly rose up the chain of command and in short time made the rank of Frumentarius. They gave me the name Dolus. I was then ordered by Kaiser to infiltrate the NCR in California back before they had even expanded into the Mojave. It didn't take long for me to unravel the corruption within the NCR. NCR politics is largely dominated by oligarchies, all fighting one another for power. I easily took advantage of it by making myself into an asset for some of their members by digging up dirt on their political rivals. In exchange, they made me a part of their inner workings. Eventually, I was tasked with spying on General Blackthorne, who from the beginning was suspected of potentially mounting a rebellion against Kimball's NCR. In fact, the oligarchies pushed for it. They made sure Blackthorne's troops would always receive the short end of the stick in hopes it would push Blackthorne over the edge. An open rebellion against President Kimball would weaken him politically and allow the oligarchies to maintain their grasp over the NCR. After Blackthorne had exiled himself to the frontier, I had no trouble gaining his trust from the time I spent fighting alongside him during the Brotherhood Wars. He even trusted me enough to make me his top reconnaissance agent and second in command. I was now effectively a triple agent, and none were the wiser. The discovery of the Liberator beneath Phoenix Airport raised the stakes on everything. I saw the opportunity to finally rise above it all. I just had to pull the right strings at the right time. The plan now was to weaken Blackthorne's reputation enough for me to take his place and to take the Liberator for myself. This is when you came into play, Courier. Your arrival to the frontier opened up the opportunity for me to use you to ruin Blackthorne. Once I had confirmed you were the legendary Courier 6 that Blackthorne so idealized, I quickly made the arrangements to ensure you would end up on that bridge where the Legion would already be waiting to ambush and capture you. When Blackthorne sent his army to rescue you, I informed the Legion when and where they would come to maximize casualties. I even pulled some strings and managed to get the Legion a fully operational tank. But most importantly, I put the odds against Wolfpack surviving the attack every step of the way, including supplying the Legion with the very tank busters used to down Wolfpack's vertibird. With Wolfpack eliminated and half of Blackthorne's army wasted over a crippled legend, a mutiny had begun to spark up against Blackthorne. At this point, everything was going according to plan, until you happened to foil all of it. Had to come up with a new plan. Tried drugging and brainwashing you to kill Blackthorne, but that failed. Finally, I came up with the scheme of launching a nuke at Blackthorne and framing you for it. However, even when it seemed I'd finally achieved my goal, you always managed to come back and fuck everything up. I think the plan now will be to just kill you and ensure you never again come back from the dead. I'd say it was a good run. I have no regrets. This is a fucked world we live in, and there's no changing that. You won't get far in this world by questioning your choices. It's always do or die. I chose to embrace the world as it is and rise above it all. Whatever happened along the way, that's just how it is. So no, I have no remorse for how the world is, always has been, and always will be. And what? You think people like Blackthorne are better because they brought about death and destruction for ideological reasons? Blackthorne, along with most of his followers, died for nothing. They accomplished nothing. Nothing has changed. Just take a look around. This is how everything always ends. So be it. You'll always have to deal with people like me who will take advantage of your ideological fight and use it against you. I certainly will not be the last. Moral duty? Is that what this is all about? You think you're fighting for something righteous? Then I guess it's up. An epic card game to the death it is. So here we are, courier. Yo.
My speech is actually more than 100. It's actually 100.
Go away.
Let me check something here. You what? Why? Oh, that's right.
So here we are, courier. To hell with it. I'll just get this over with. Perhaps I'll take you with me.
Stuff. Can't seriously say if you're saying I must have.
It's done. Rancor's dead. And you have the Seafinder. There's nothing more for us to do here. I'm fine! I've just had enough of it all. Let's not spend more time here than we need to. I've already radioed for someone to pick us up and take us back to Portland. They'll be here shortly. It's up to you. I trust you'll know what to do with it.
no, 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 no. I'm gonna save it. Yeah. Right. There we go. Then. Survive.
I guess you've decided to reserve the use of Archimedes too. At the very least, just make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands again. I guess you've decided to reserve the use of A number of people made it to the escape pods. Some of them are still in one piece and currently here at the radio station. Unfortunately, many didn't make it. When everyone at the airport packed everything into the Liberator and flew off, they left the airport unguarded. So now, scabs have overrun the place. This is the last secured base left in the frontier. But I doubt that will last for long. I don't know. It's none of my concern anymore. I won't be sticking around here for long. There's nothing here for me anymore. This place has taken everything from me. I just need to get away from here. Find a new place. Start a new beginning. I don't know. Wherever the wind takes me. As long as it's away from here. That's all that matters. I guess you're right. Things will work out better if we stick together. Together, we are stronger. It gives us reason to keep going, no matter how hard things get. In the end, that's what matters most. To have something to fight for. Sure, Courier. I'll follow alongside you. Besides, you wouldn't have gotten this far without me.
I know it seems strange that I'm still hanging around the NCR, but they seem to welcome my help. I can see they need it, after everything that's happened. Unusual times make for unusual allies. I can never return to the Crusaders, so I'll lend my assistance to the NCR for as long as they'll accept it. I don't know what I'll do with myself otherwise. If I don't keep myself busy, I'll just fall back into my drug habits. Good luck to you.
I heard Charlie that works for Angel.
I never expected all of this to happen. I don't even remember why I came to the frontier in the first place. All I want now is just some peace and quiet. I don't really know. Maybe I'll just help out with the radio station. As long as I don't have to engage in any more combat. I've had enough fighting for one lifetime.
Shame she's a zombie now.
Welcome!
I heard Charlie at the Wasted Angel used to be a bombshell. Too bad she's a zombie now.
I can't believe Rancor screwed us over like this. I know General Blackthorne had his flaws, but he didn't deserve to die the way he did. It won't be easy for us to hold together without a leader. We'll have to make do with what we still got. I won't abandon the frontier. I chose to come here with Blackthorne, so I'll stay here if I have to. I'll even lead what's left of the army. But our fight is no longer with the NCR back in California. Our fight is here in the frontier. Not to steal resources and force out the locals, but to turn this into a civilized community where we work together and respect one another. Maybe then, we can finally put an end to the senseless bloodshed. Thank you, Kurt. Oh, before you go, here's your 2,000 caps for completion of your tour to the frontier. I know it doesn't seem like much anymore, but I like to make sure all of my debts have been paid off. You've been an exceptional soldier, Courier. I hope to see you around. Yes?
So much has happened in so little time. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. We lost so much. I'm not sure how we'll recover. But I'll do my best to help rebuild. I guess the only option now is to turn the frontier into our permanent home. I don't think we'll ever get a second chance to return to New California. The frontier is a harsh place, but I think we'll pull through if we stay focused. Maybe we can even make this into a more hospitable place.
Good to see you're still on your feet, Courier. We need good soldiers like you, especially now that we nearly lost everyone. We'll need to recruit more people if we want any chance of outlasting the frontier. Fortunately, I know some people who can help out with that. The frontier isn't a lost cause just yet. We can still turn this into something.
Holy hell, that was one hell of a ride. Explosions and carnage all around. It was like being in a freaking action movie. Yeah, a lot of good people died and it's a shame and all. But it was all still pretty epic. You can't deny that. Normally, I'd be looking for a new gig scene as there's not much left of the Frontier NCR. But I think a little bit of you has been rubbing off on me, Courier. I think I might actually stay and even help clean up this mess. Who am I kidding? Fuck this place. I'm out of here. Seriously, maybe I will stay and help. Can't be all that bad.
You ever tangled with one of those scavs with the firework cannons? Man, they're terrifying.
I shouldn't have so many.
What's up? That's a long way from where I come from, but here are the...
Ah, a van.
What do you have something to say?
Hey yo. Hell yeah. Listen here, dickwad. I have a decade of combat experience. They don't call me... I'm one of the few veteran rangers who left with General... The NCR and the Mojave are Wait a minute. Who the fuck? Of course, man. Who hasn't? The man's a godsend. Hell, without him, I'd be bored as hell. Everyone... Well, come to think of it, Oh, that guy. I heard he wanted to start a radio station or something, but no one really pays attention to him anymore. He was even a stand-up comedy man here for a while, then Al came and took the attention away from him. He's a good guy, just frustrated that no one watches his show anymore. Well, you know, speaking of MXR, I got a small little tap. Well, there's no easy way to say this, but MXR is supposedly to have a treasure trove of... I'll give you 5... Fine. Just... Hey, yo. Dude, I said... Well, alright then. Here, take it. But I want this shit back. Is that... Alright, I get it. Dude, stop.
This is your host, Bob Frost, with the Breach Outreach. This just in. Tragedy struck Parker's restaurant when a psychotic crusader named Forsyth entered the building and killed most inside. Investigation by the Breach Outreach and Crusaders has revealed that Forsyth had been planning the massacre for some time. Forsyth was driven to this act by mental instability and a fanatical devotion to the Crusaders' faith.
And so came to an end the Courier's exploits in the frontier. With Rancor and Blackthorn dead, and the NCR in complete disarray, much of the exiles disbanded. However, there were those who stayed behind. There were some who saw it as an opportunity to begin life as a vigilante peacekeeper, whilst others took the dark path and became the very thing they vowed to destroy. Whilst the airport was overrun by scavengers, they did not take up arms against the NCR civilians. Soon after, what remained of Goose Hollow became a town run by the scavs. It prospered, but would, on one fateful day, burn to the ground as Junkfleet's mayor sought to erase all traces of the exiles. Ashley Jane Terra, the only surviving member of the Wolf Pack, saw herself once again following the pack, as she joined the Courier on his march through the frontier. Though she wished for stillness, she found little comfort in the idle tidings of civilian life. After the Courier returned to the Mojave, she found herself at a loss. She turned to peacekeeping efforts in a desperate attempt to keep herself above board. After the collapse of the exiles, Gray took it upon himself to try and rebuild. He took those still loyal to Blackthorn and formed a new splinter cell of the exiles. His efforts led to little success, as with no serious threats and no mission, the commanding officers became restless and wasted limited resources on gambling and other obscenities. Gray left the exiles in response. He burned his uniform and traveled to Junkfleet, where he spent the rest of his days trading and drinking. With Valerius dead and Ostia destroyed, the Northern Legion quickly disbanded. Most simply integrated into the native scav population, or used their fighting skill to form raider gangs. The choice few returned to the Legion Fort, where Caesar had them put to the cross for their failure. As the war subsided, Junkfleet began to prosper, no longer relying on selling information on factions, they were able to begin more legal operations. Utilizing Junk Flea's water reservoirs and ample space, large swaths of the underground were turned into hydroponic areas. Though the courier would never meet the mayor would eventually become a very powerful figure, albeit from the shadows. As the threat of the war passed, the mayor could no longer tolerate the slum's lawlessness. The guards moved through the slums like fire, arresting or executing the worst of the criminals. The slums would still be considered dangerous, but they would never again be as toxic as they once were. With no guardian to protect them, the Church of Eternal Life was quickly wiped out by violent outsiders in search of their treasure. Irvington continued to prosper, even as more and more people began to grow sick. After years of suffering and dozens dead, Dr. Pavas had created a cure for the disease. With the plague ended, Irvington would grow to rival Junk Flea in size and influence, becoming a beacon of civilization in Portland. With the salt mine gone, thanks to the courier, Salt Town quickly died off. Worries that a salt shortage would ensue disappeared as new veins and mines were discovered. These mines were run by those who had suffered in Salt Town, and so the workers were treated with respect and dignity. The frontier became known as a haven for miners, with even workers from Quarry Junction making the journey up north. Few things changed for the Tricali at the end of the war. They continued to live in their bunker, killing time by getting high. Those who paid attention, however, realized that the Tricali had slowly but surely been coining the chem market in the frontier. By the time anyone realized this, it was already too late. Queen Juno would come to hold just as much, if not more power, than the families of New Reno. The courier saved Violet Osborne from the hell of slavery. While she dreamt of returning to Shady Sands, life as a waitress gave her perspective. Labor improvements and pay increases would be her first order of business when she returned to Osborne Metallurgy. Not long after the final battle, Styx returned to Sanctuary with an army behind him. The battle was intense and reduced the lodge to rubble. There were no survivors on either side. Following the courier's advice, Theo gave up on his dreams of reconnecting with the Enclave and left the frontier. In his travels, Theo gained a greater understanding of the world, and his racism towards mutants evaporated. His time as part of the Enclave would eventually become just a distant memory. Though Joseph was sad to see his former friends fail, he knew the courier made the right decision in granting the Scabs independence. However, with this independence came the revival of the slave trade. Undeterred, the hangman redoubled his efforts. So long as he lived, no man or woman would be in chains. Donovan began to reconsider his mercy for Dan whilst on his travels with the courier. He decided he must enact his own justice. Whilst the courier slept, Donovan slinked away into the night, returning in the morning with a freshly bloodied knife. He never spoke of what he did. With the NCR's victory in the frontier, Jolene slipped quietly back into the ranks of the NCR Espionage Division, assisting in the cleanup. America's internal doubt continued to push her away from everyone. Unable to resolve it, she grew distant. She didn't belong with the Crusaders. Maybe she didn't belong anywhere. She decided on her next scouting mission to disappear. No one would miss her. Though he would never truly forgive himself for Sarah's death, Lot was soon able to face the bright light ahead. Through his time with the courier, he had come to terms with the death of his only family and slipped peacefully into the darkness. And so it came to an end. The courier,
what about the network?
Opus, a final adventure to the unknown. The road to Hoover Dam now lay before the courier, an empty slate to be carved. Because war never changes.
In the aftermath of the killings, the families of the deceased are demanding justice, or at least reparations, for the Crusaders and their leaders. This event will undoubtedly undercut the Crusaders' charitable activities in the region for years to come. More news after this.
Stay out of the slums if you value your life or your paths.
Survival tip number 944. Walls are thin. Make sure you keep your voice down. If we can hear you, the Legion can too. Stay safe. The war goes on, and I'm here to tell you how it's going. Bad news for our boys on the front. NCR's top scientists have determined that this winter isn't ending anytime soon. It remains unclear why the frontier is stuck in perpetual winter wonderland, though if you ask me, I think the nukes had something to do with it. But never fear. Our top scientists are hot on the case. This place will be sweltering in no time. Sorry, folks. I have to go and wet my whistle. Don't worry. I'll be back soon.
Penthouse. I had stuff stored there. What if I had stuff stored there? That quest should be failed, should be off the thing. Where's Junk Flea?
You gonna buy something?
Let me guess. Go ahead.
Need something?
Get out of here if you know what's good for you.
Hi there, human! That's